channel. Okay, today we are going to continue our topic transportation, the circulatory system. In the before class, we discussed about the introduction of arteries. So arteries are discovered by William Harvey. What are arteries? The blood vessels carrying blood from heart to body organs. Okay, yeah, these are the types of arteries. First one is systemic artery, second one pulmonary artery and coronary artery. Okay, now what is meant by systemic artery? So the artery which is carrying blood, which blood? Oxygenated blood. Okay, the artery which is carrying oxygenated blood from left ventricle to body parts. See, in the veins, right ventricle, body parts means upper body parts to right ventricle, but here we all know that heart to body parts, arteries. So what is in systemic artery? Let us draw a diagram. These are the four chambers, right? This is left ventricle. So in the systemic artery, it is carrying, these are the body parts. Let us assume these are the body parts. The systemic artery carrying blood from left ventricle to body parts, means heart to body parts. Now this is about systemic artery. Now what is meant by pulmonary artery? So pulmonary artery is different from these other two types of arteries. Pulmonary artery, the artery which is carrying deoxygenated blood. Systemic and coronary is oxygenated blood, but only pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to lungs. Assume that these are the lungs. It is carrying blood from right ventricle to lungs. In the pulmonary vein, left auricle to lungs, but here right ventricle to lungs. Okay, lungs to left auricle in veins, but arteries right ventricle to lungs. Okay, this is about pulmonary artery. Now coronary artery. What is meant by coronary artery? The artery which is carrying blood, deoxygenated blood, means without oxygen, deoxygenated blood from heart muscle, left ventricle of heart to heart muscles. These are surroundings of heart. The walls of heart made up of heart muscles, right? It is transferring deoxygenated blood from left ventricle to his heart muscles surrounding the heart. These are about the types of arteries. Okay, systemic, pulmonary and coronary. Systemic, deoxygenated blood from left ventricle to body parts. Pulmonary, oxygenated blood from right ventricle to lungs, and coronary, deoxygenated blood from left ventricle to heart muscles. Okay, before discussing about the blood capillaries, let us discuss about the blood vessels and circulation. Okay, in textbook also this is, please refer your textbook while you are seeing this video. In the blood vessels and circulation, we are going to discuss about some of the experiments done by the scientists to invent these veins and arteries and how they circulate the blood, what are the functions happening, what are the situations, and what are the happenings in the circulation of blood. Let us discuss in this topic. Okay, now let us discuss about the blood vessels and the circulation. Okay, the blood vessels and circulation. Okay, before discussing this topic, one important point. So whenever the coronary artery is blocked with the cholesterol, means so many fats, we get the heart attack or cardiac attack. Okay, this one important, just one important point. Okay, because we do not receive any deoxygenated blood, and we could not send the deoxygenated blood to the heart muscles. So our heart stopped functioning. So we get the cardiac attack or heart attack whenever the coronary artery blocked with the cholesterol. Okay. So now the blood vessels and circulation. So some important points are, up to 16th century we do not know about how the blood is circulated or how the blood is transported, because at that time the scientists are not still invented the veins and arteries. So we do not know about the arteries and veins at that time until the 16th century. But in 1574, by listening the year of 1574, we get one name in our mind. Is none other than Girolamo Fabrici. Girolamo Fabrici. Who is Girolamo Fabrici? I already explained you that he is the inventor of veins. How he invented the veins and what the observations he observed while doing experiments. At the process of inventing, first of all, he invented the veins in the legs. Okay? He invented the veins in the legs of a human body. While doing experiment, in the process of his invention, while doing experiment, he observed that the blood which is circulating in one way direction from the body parts to heart. Whenever the blood is circulating from the body parts to heart in one way direction, the valves present in the walls of the veins. We all know that veins are present valves. Valves means structure which allows the flow of substances in one way direction is called valve. The valves are folded, means the valves are opened like the gates to flow the blood freely. Okay, but whenever the blood comes in opposite direction, the valves are closed. Why? Because I already explained you, in veins, while blood flowing from body parts to heart, it doesn't come back, it just flows in one way direction. Why? Because of the presence of valves. He discovered that. He proved that the valves are present in the veins so that the blood will flow only in the one way direction, it doesn't come back. Whenever the blood is wanted to come back, the valves are closed, so the blood doesn't come back. Take an example. While we are started to walk, or while we are walking, the muscles present in our legs squeeze, means tight. They will be comes closer and they will be tightly, so the blood circulation will be more. Okay, the blood when we are walking flows from our legs, the lower body parts, to heart, means they will only flow in only the upward direction. They do not come in the direction of gravity. They do not come in the lower direction. Why? Because with the presence of valves, only they flow in the one way direction. Whenever they want to come back, the valves are closed. This happens only in the presence of veins. He discovered that. But there is a drawback in his discovery. What is the drawback? He stated that only the blood flows from body parts to heart, only upward direction. But at that time, he invented only veins, but there is no invention of arteries. But we also know that the blood also flows from heart to body parts, also in lower direction also it flows. But he cannot invented that. After his invention, his student William Harvey, we all know about William Harvey also, he discovered the arteries. William Harvey, a Britain scientist, he moved to Italy. Girolamo Fabrici is Italian doctor. He moved to Italy and he became the student of Girolamo Fabrici. And William Harvey, he studied more about veins and he studied about the experiments done by his teacher, Girolamo Fabrici. So he also studied more about the veins in the legs and he stated some important observations. What are the observations? Let us discuss in the next class. Okay, in this class we discuss about the only observations done by Girolamo Fabrici. Next class we will discuss about the observations done by the William Harvey. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this video, press like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Let's meet in the next video.